Do not be afraid. This phrase appears approximately 365 times in the Holy Bible. Now, I didn't know there was a bigger book than the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, but apparently this book entitled The Holy Bible, I'm just kidding, settle down. I've never been really a religious type, and I'm just now discovering God, and I doubt I will get around to reading the Bible or trying to read it again anytime soon. Hey Shades, my name is James. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and addict. This is my live stream every weeknight at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Welcome. This is essentially a podcast where you chat as my guests and I host as your gracious host. There's also other options to get down, turn around, and give a dog a bone. Tonight's topic is fear, the corroding thread that activates all of the alcoholic's defects of character. Hola, Miguel. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Qué way? But in the Bible, a book that I perused once, gave up because my ADHD was exploding. Breakfast for dinner, hello. Sí, bien. Do not be afraid is repeated approximately 365 times in the big book Bible, literally the Holy Bible. Hey, Gail. Wow, you guys are pouring in tonight. Excellent. I'm just now learning this, so I did a little fact checking, a little light research, and indeed, the main message, it seems, of the Holy Bible is fear not, do not be afraid, have faith, not fear. Well, this interests me in this current point in my journey of recovery from alcoholism and addiction, because I have discovered faith and spirituality in a God of my understanding, and I have found comfort in phrases like, if you pray, why worry? And if you worry, why pray? Fear is the corroding thread that activates all of the alcoholic's character defects. FEAR, face everything and recover, or FEAR, forget everything and run. There's a lot of fear in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous too, a lot of touching on the topic of fear and having faith. Blah! Blah! I'm applying the 12 steps to my lifelong habit of biting my fingernails. I'm done with it. There is no way I'm taking this habit to my grave. It is said in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous, faith without works is dead. So I did some work and put tape on my fingernails tonight. The main time I usually bite my fingernails, an obsessive compulsive habit, is usually at night when I'm laying on the couch, decompressing and relaxing to some old school vines. But I am on a mission. I have realized I am powerless over my obsessive compulsive habit of biting my fingernails. I've come to believe in a power greater than myself that can restore my fingernails to be unbitten. That power is tape. I'm handing my nail-biting will and life over to the care of God as I understand Him. I'm taking a fearless and honest moral inventory of my nail biting habits. You know what that means? It means I have tried to just not bite my nails for a decade, and it doesn't work. You go to the vet. Just kidding, Shades. Lifelong nail biter too, and I'm older than you. It's tough to drop. I know, it's like there's cigarettes on the end of my fingers. And you're trying to quit cigarettes. It's like you're trying to quit cigarettes and there's cigarettes growing out of your fingers. Manicures work. I would, I would love to get a manicure. But I'll just bite right through them, you know what I mean? Steve Caballeros? Yeah, I'm not a huge Bible thumper. In fact, I think I have a Bible in a drawer, and it's been there for years upon years upon years. I tried to read the Bible, but my ADHD is just like, what language are they speaking? I'm not closed off to the messages of the Bible. You know what I mean? I'm open-minded. It has helped a lot of people, you know what I mean? I'm not going to bash it and, come up with harebrained theories and opinions of why. Not anymore, at least, now that Alcoholics Anonymous has opened my mind. But while scrolling through the endless void of things to scroll through on your phone, there was a short that popped up, said this phrase is repeated 365 times in the Holy Bible. Do not be afraid. And I would say I was blown out of my seat, but I was already horizontal laying in my couch, so I don't know where I could have been blown from there. But I do have some ideas of where I could have been blown from my position on the couch. Anywho, on the real, ever since I've heard this, do not be afraid from the Bible. The big book of Alcoholics Anonymous touches a lot on fear. Faith could be said to be the axiom, could be the could be the opposite, the antonym of fear. Faith. Faith is something I'm practicing as one of the principles of the recovery program of Alcoholics Anonymous. Faith. Perseverance in the face of fear. Perseverance is another principle of Alcoholics Anonymous. Honesty can be an anti-fearful thing. Courage is the fourth principle of Alcoholics Anonymous, coinciding with step 4. Made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. Courage. You know what I mean? So fear is a big topic in the big book of AA, and it apparently is the message that is most repeated in the, I would say, bigger book of the Bible. How many people out there read the Bible? How many people out there live by the Bible? How many people out there can relate to what I'm saying? It's not like the Bible is a coffee table book these days and something you read on the toilet. But I doubt, I don't know. Blah. Blah. Yeah, man. Biting my fingernails has to stop. I bite them to where they bleed. I bite the cuticle. I peel the hangnail all the way back to the cuticle, and then it'll be swollen and bleeding, and it's disgusting. It's gross. So I'm gonna handcuff myself. If this tape doesn't work, I'm just gonna handcuff my hands behind my back. Don't get excited, ladies. I will still be able to headbutt if anybody tries to sexually take advantage of me, or otherwise, you could try to, you could take advantage of me non-sexually by, tickling my nose with a feather to make me sneeze uncontrollably. But whether it's that or sexually, no one will be taking advantage of me with my hands behind my back. I can and will throw rapid headbutts in an assailant's direction. But I don't headbutt women, so I don't know what I'm going to do. Hip thrusts, pelvic thrusts can also do some damage, and I will pelvic thrust you ladies. Margaret Brand, I drank because I was so scared of life 25 years ago. Being alcohol free for 25 years now, I am still scared, but it hasn't killed me yet. If you pray, why fear? If you fear, why pray? Faith, not fear. These are messages that I've always heard, but haven't really absorbed until this leg of my until this leg of my yes, I'm acting weird. It's Friday, give me a break. I actually look forward to my work days. I get to go to the zoo for 7 hours alone, which I work tomorrow. But I figure you guys would enjoy Friday too, a more laid back stream, if you will. But I hear you, Margaret. Scared of life 25 years ago. For 25 years, you've been alcohol free. Holy moly, Margaret. Yeah, what's up with that breakfast for dinner? What do we fear? Not biting our fingernails? I don't get it. I cannot stop. I will literally, and you can probably relate to this one. I will literally be thinking about stopping biting my nails. I will say I'm going to stop biting my nails, and I'll notice that I have my fingernail in my mouth. I'll be thinking about how I need to stop biting my nails. I'll be just started trying to not bite my nails, and I'll just out of nowhere notice that my fingernail's in my mouth. Yeah, until several minutes in, you don't even know you're doing it. I'll be sitting there, I'll be sitting there brainstorming on how I'm going to quit biting my fingernails, but I'll be biting my fingernails while I'm doing it. Well, congratulations, Margaret, on your 25 years abstinent from alcohol. Still scared? Well, the Bible suggests do not be afraid. 365 times more or less throughout. The Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous suggests courage as one of its 12 principles to live your life by. Courage is, by definition, going forward regardless of your fear. So fear is a natural part of being an animal. And we humans, being the less intelligent species of animals on the planet, certainly are no exception. Just because we're not as intelligent as all the rest of the animals on Earth doesn't mean we are free of fear. 25 years, a quarter of a century. Margaret Brand. Speaking of breakfast for dinner, could I have ravioli? And fear comes in all types of forms. I mean, fear is a corroding thread that infiltrates. Yeah, it may be funny, but like, I swear to God, I can't keep my fingernails out of my mouth. So I have to put tape on them, or I don't know what I'm going to do. I woke up, I was in the bed last night at like 3 a.m. I don't know if it was a nightmare or maybe I missed my nicotine dose, but I was chewing my fingernails off, which reminds me, I got to get a Nick Tac. Anyway, fear. What do you guys think about it? What do you guys have on the topic of fear in life, fear in recovery, fear of never able to stop biting your fingernails? I got 2 members yesterday. I couldn't even believe it. That's 36 members total. For those of you who are interested in joining, hit the join button in the chat. It is posted in the top of the chat box and also on my channel page. We have nothing to fear but fear itself. You know, it's said that we have nothing to fear but Chuck Norris. And it's true. Oh, shit. Wow. Wow, breakfast for dinner. You're member number 37. Ooh, Chuck Norris. You don't like Chuck Norris? Shades? Yeah. Yeah. I like that. Well, who knows? I just love the Chuck Norris facts, to be honest. One of the funniest things about Chuck Norris, though, is defending him. Yeah, Chuck Norris. I mean, yeah, breakfast for dinner. I knew that I bing bong boom bing bing dong. Wow, I feel good. Yeah. Thank you, breakfast for dinner. 37 members deep. Sober sandwiches is one of my tiers. I have 3 tiers: sober sandwiches, sober sneakers, and sober stage crew. Check out all 3 for potential perks. I've almost trashed this entire channel, taken it down, stopped doing it because of fear. Fear was an issue of starting the channel. What are they going to think? What are my friends and family going to think when I start appearing in the feed of Facebook and Instagram? And you have to, when you start a YouTube channel, you gotta start spreading it on social media. I don't like social media. I don't even like marketing and commercials. And to hold a YouTube channel, you got to kind of be a marketer and commercialize. So I was like, what are they gonna, fear. There was a lot of fear. And I've taken it down a couple times. Out of fear that I was breaking one of the traditions of Alcoholics Anonymous. No TV, press, radio, or films. Oh, by the way, somebody from the New York Post called me. She emailed me, and I called, asking if she can talk to me about a certain recovery topic. It was my thoughts on psychedelics in recovery from alcoholism. Does Alcoholics Anonymous alienate you and make you feel and reject you if you're on psychedelics in the meetings? She had said that there is people that say that they do. So I laid it down like James Brown to her. I did psychedelics for a while, going to AA, and occasionally I still microdose. So here is the bottom line. There is the only requirement for Alcoholics Anonymous to be a member, to sit in a group. There is only one requirement: the desire to stop drinking. It doesn't say the desire to stop drinking and you are sober from all other substances on earth. There is also, it is said that some meetings, some groups will say, we ask that you keep your conversation, your topic to alcohol. They'll say things like, we realize many of us have experience with other drugs, but it is, I wouldn't say it's a rule or protocol, because really there's no rules in Alcoholics Anonymous. There is only one requirement: the desire to stop drinking alcohol. But it is requested in some groups that you limit your shares only to alcohol, because it's Alcoholics Anonymous. And I have my own petty little theories, like we all do, about everything. And that's because Bill W. did LSD. Bill W. had his spiritual awakening on belladonna. And somewhere after LSD, when Bill W. was doing it, it was a promising medicine for mental health and depression. And then, the hippies started using it in the streets. It escaped the lab, end quote. And as soon as the hippies started sounding really good in their protests of Vietnam, they said, let's arrest these bastards. Here's a way to do it. Let's make cannabis and LSD Schedule I drugs and just go arrest all these hippies. They're the ones protesting Vietnam and making headway in doing so. You know what I'm saying, son? Richard Bachman, the godfather of fear, Stephen King himself. Fear, fear, fear. No way around it. I heard this quote somewhere. Be still and wait. Doors start opening for sure. It takes practice, though. Not easy. Be still and wait. Be still and know that I am God is another Bible verse that, and I don't even read the Bible. I was an agnostic until 8 months ago. But all my life, I have found comfort in be still and know that I am God. You know what I mean? That's the same thing as the faith in the rooms of AA. That's the same thing as handing your will over to the care of God as you understand Him. Be still. Stop thinking. Stop fidgeting. Stop messing with everything. Stop trying to control everything. Be still and know that I am God. That's the same as the third step of Alcoholics Anonymous. We hand our life and our will over to the care of God as we understand it. aka be still and know that I am God. Be still. Stop messing with everything. You know what I'm saying? Remember when our parents used to tie our shoes and we'd be fidgeting and shit? Only they had the power to tie our shoes. We didn't learn yet. But if we're fidgeting and trying to do it ourselves, or just like, kicking and screaming, they would say, be still and know that I am a master of tying shoes. They were our gods. God can't tie our shoes if we're fidgeting. And I'm a 2-year-old, or I don't even know how to age myself when I didn't know how to tie my shoes, but I'm a child who doesn't know how to tie his shoes, and I'm sitting there giving my mom or dad directions on how to tie my shoes. That's like the alcoholic giving directions on how to get sober, and fidgeting so much God is nowhere around. You're easing God out. Your ego edging God out, easing God out. So the alcoholic is virtually walking around, is like a 4-year-old walking around with untied shoes. And they ran away from their parents because they insist they know it all. Yeah, fear. Do not be afraid. Approximately 365 times is repeated in the Holy Bible. Some would say the biggest book of big books. Drop the Twitter handles. Not sure what that means. But what's up, Joe Shaves? Let's see what else. I've always wanted to learn how to do a backflip, but the fear of breaking my neck or back has kept me from doing a backflip. Now, if I accept the power of, there's backflip machines that you can literally there's one machine that's just nothing but it's a big bar that rocks back and forth, and you can jump and stay in the air for a little bit longer. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll learn how to do a backflip for the first time in my life as a middle finger to fear. I've always done front flips into pools. You know how everyone does backflips into pools? There's something about, I don't know. I have a really long torso. I'm 6'5", and if we stand next to each other, any one of you, our hips are going to be at the same level. All of my height comes from my torso, from my hips up. So that might be a reason I'm scared to do a backflip, because I gotta get that big ass torso, and I gotta hurl it backwards towards the side of my head that doesn't have eyeballs. That shit's scary. But if I apply the what I've learned in the program of AA and employ a power greater than myself, aka a gymnast, spotter, a trainer, I could be doing backflips by the end of the week. What else am I scared of? Jump up and tuck and try to spin fast. Pull your knees to your chest. Have a friend who I have seen doing backflip off of roofs. Yeah, I'm talking about just a flat foot. What if I broke my neck on the first attempt? Damn you, Stephen King. That's something I could not do drunk. Yeah, I can't even try a backflip drunk. Or I wonder why I never have. Probably because it's so damn scary I don't even do it drunk. So, you know what I mean? Fear. What else do I fear? I fear in the meetings, I would like to share, right? You know, in an AA meeting, usually there's time. I mean, a lot of the meetings are open discussion meetings, which means the topic is set, and you'll have about 45 minutes of just going around the room in a random order. Whoever speaks up and say, "Hi, I'm James. I'm an alcoholic." "Hi, I'm blank. I'm an alcoholic." This is what I think on the topic. My fear is they're going to think I'm just trying to sound smart. They're going to think I'm trying to impress people. This comes from probably my overcritical dad my entire life, and in my childhood, like, you know, anything I did, "Oh, you're trying to be Joe Cool. Oh, you're trying to be Joe Badass." You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to be anything. Joe Cool's trying to be me. That's what I should have said 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Be able to flip forward on the ground running. What do you mean, flip forward on the ground running? In the air and land on your feet? Wanted to learn gainers, could never do it right. A gainer is running forward and doing a backflip while still going forward, right? Michael, I'm afraid of people that claim to be my family but are really complete strangers. Oh, okay. Well, my family was a bunch of strangers. My home group of Alcoholics Anonymous is more of a family to me than my family is. For real. I just helped them move you know what I'm saying? Like, they'll help you move. They'll be in a hospital if you're there. They're there when you're drunk. You can call them. They're there after you relapse. We all have a common enemy. Forward backflip off a diving board. Yeah, F that. There's so much stuff that goes on in my head. My fear takes over. But the Bible says, do not be afraid. I blame my parents. I think blame is a dirty word. I put the credit where credit is due. My dad was completely overbearingly critical, and my sister and I suffered from it as adults. I'm not blaming. I guess blame is the right word. It's just that's the reason I'm so sensitive to criticism. That's the reason I get in my head before I speak, do, act, or anything is what are they going to think? What are they going to say? Because as a child, you're formidable. You're literally being formed as a person. And if you have a parental figure that's just like, why are you doing this? Don't do it like that. What are they going to think? Who are you trying to be? Everything you do is wrong. Then you're going to grow up like that. So blame my parents. I made amends with my dad. He still ticks me off. In fact, this very day today, I had some progress with him. Let me tell you a short story. Yesterday, he was looking for his mailbox key. He was over my house. He said, I'm going to go look for it in your truck in your garage. My dad is one of the dads that will mess with everything. The thermostat, the blinds, everything that he thinks should be done, he will do because he knows better. His ideas are better. He disguises it as looking out for you. It's for your own good. But, you know, if he thinks the blinds are slightly better at reducing heat in the house, if they were aimed up, I've found my blinds aimed up. You know what I mean? My faith wasn't strong until alcohol gave me a first class, all expenses paid vacation tour of hell. So if there's a hell, then there must be a heaven. Amen. When some of the verses sound like this, you will be delivered to the kingdom of heaven. That happened to me as soon as I handed my will over to the care of God as I understand Him. I was delivered into the kingdom of heaven. You know what being relieved of anxiety and depression is out of nowhere? That's heaven. Just like pain, if you have the worst pain of your life and you're relieved of it, it's like heaven. I think the kingdom of heaven is peace and serenity by being a good person, doing the next right thing, helping others, trusting in God, letting go of fear, and having faith. All of a sudden, I'm in the kingdom of heaven already. Purgatory and hell? You're absolutely right. If you do all the wrong things and be a self-centered person like the alcoholic is, you are already delivered to purgatory. You are living in hell. And seeing as how the Bible is full of metaphors, I think maybe that's what they were aiming at. My pops was a control freak, Richard Bachman says. Still is. Now anytime someone tries pushing me in any direction, good or bad, I dismiss it. No bueno. Yeah, for real. IQ? I don't even know my IQ, Joe. Does he have a mental issue when you were a kid? That's sad. Oh, yeah. Well, he's a good guy. He's an alcoholic without the alcohol. Is what he is. But I love my dad. I wouldn't be here without him. You know what I mean? I owe a lot to my dad, and that's probably why he has control over me. But yes, he comes from a generation before they had all these diagnoses of codependence and control issues and obsessive compulsive disorder. And I'm now learning that opinions, my own or others' opinions, are trivial and next to nothing on the importance scale. Sure, opinions make music and they make art and they make sweet, sweet love. But opinions is what kept me drunk. Opinions is what kept me in fear. You know what I'm saying? My opinion is, if I try to do a backflip, there's a whole shit ton of stuff that can go wrong. The facts are this. There is ways to learn backflips, or else nobody would be able to do them. That's a fact. The fact is, I could learn how to do a backflip. My opinions have kept me from doing a backflip my entire life because I have opinions about how I'm not going to try this, that, or the other thing. Opinions kept me drunk. My opinions got me jails, institutions, and death. JDM Beats, welcome. Good to see you. Yeah, I'm not, I'm like my dad in some ways too. A real push-up breakfast for dinner. Well, you're looking at me or your fingernails. You were looking at your fingernails, now you're looking at me. I'm a man who does a real push-up. I always have. And you know how grammar snobs, which I also happen to be, will correct your spelling and there or there, grammar snob. Well, I'm a push-up snob. If I see somebody said, I can do 100 push-ups, watch this, and they're doing this, not going down to the ground at all and not going all the way up, deaded. You're disqualified from this push-up contest. I'm ex-Navy. I do full push-ups. Now, I can do it to where my chin touches the ground, but I'd rather not, because when doing a push-up and your muscles start getting exhausted, you know, you might bust your chin on that. But my chin hairs will touch the ground and I will come all the way up. My back will be straight, my buttocks slightly elevated as to assure a straight back. I'm doing a real push-up, and I do 25 a day now, but I was doing my age until I turned 43 and 42 and 41 and 40. But I could probably do my age, but I do 25 real push-ups. That means the first one is as good and at the same speed as the 25th one. And that's my set of push-ups. Damn, how long have I been talking about how good I am at push-ups? You guys got to stop me. Anyway, breakfast for dinner. The real push-up, you know what I mean? Seeing women learn seems impossible to me. I know I could learn. I set the pull-up record in middle school. I did 11. Real pull-ups. Real pull-ups. Not none of this shit. You know what I mean? So, like, you know, I may have a grotesquely and absurdly long and out of proportion torso, but I can do these exercises very well. And all you got to do is look it up. Breakfast for dinner. You're like me with backflips. It's possible, I just haven't done it. Why haven't I done that? Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's not that important to me. I did learn a dance move for the first time ever. I learned the V step. It's a crip walk step because I was planning on learning like 10 more steps and making a dance sober short series on the principle of why did I always dance when I was drunk, but I never dance when I'm sober? But, you know, now I barely know one crip step. I got ADHD. It's a learning disability. It's the inability to learn how to crip step, crip walk, or whatever. Richard Bachman. What if I was getting ready to do my first backflip and I'm like, Godspeed, God will be done. And I did a backflip right onto my neck and died. God's will, man. Or was it my will? I insisted on trying to do a backflip. All my life, something's told me to not do backflips, and then out of nowhere, I will myself into trying a backflip and die. Was that God's will, or was it my will? My will gets me drunk. My will, you know, keeps me from my higher spiritual potential and has been, you know, now I'm practicing a different way. Is it God's will that I learn a backflip? I'm thinking only if I could do a backflip for charity or a backflip for sobriety. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, I forgot my story. My dad I made progress today. My dad was looking for his mailbox key. He was going out to my garage to look in my truck glove box. I said very objectively, please don't change anything out there, because that's just what he does. He will change stuff according to his own opinions, his own values, his own advice, his own ideas of how the world should be. My dad would change the world if he could. All his opinions rule. None of your opinions fly. He won't listen. So I just said, please don't change anything out there, with the underlying knowledge that this is my house. You know what I'm saying? Please just respect my wishes and don't rearrange anything. Anyway, I heard the garage door shut, and then, he didn't find his key. Today, I go out, I have my swim trunks on, and I did my push-ups, my calf raises, my curls, and my butt cheek exercises, to help my back. And I'm all hot and sweaty, getting ready to get on my bike and go to the pool to do my laps. And I go out to my truck. There's sunblock, the pool key, and my sunglasses in the glove box. So all I have to do is open the glove box, and I don't forget the key, and I don't forget my sunblock, and I don't forget my sunglasses. I open the glove compartment, and there's no sunblock. I had to dig around for it. When I got it out and tried to use it, my dad had screwed in the pump mechanism because he thought that was better. It was probably something like, well, if you have it, he'd probably say something like, well, if you have it out, it'll just make a mess of your glove compartment. Well, I put the pool key in my pocket, put my sunglasses on, and I'm trying to mess with the pump mechanism to get it unscrewed so it can pump sunblocks so I can put it on my tattoos. Well, it's not unscrewing. And then it just breaks and flies off onto the ground somewhere, and sunblock splatters all over my dash and glove compartment, this oily sunblock. And man, was I pissed. I asked a very simple request. Dad, please don't change anything. But according to his will, according to his best advice and how he thinks that sunblock should be screwed in, I now have sunblock all over my truck interior. The pump mechanism somewhere on the ground, the little nozzle, and I'm all slippery with sunblock. That's my relationship with my dad in a nutshell. One simple request. Just look, go out there, look for your key. One simple request. Please don't change anything. So my routine of applying sunblock to my tattoos, getting the pool key and sunglasses turned into getting the pool key, sunglasses, and splattering a broken sunblock all over my truck interior. And now I don't have it in my truck anymore because it doesn't have a lid on it. It doesn't have a pump on it because my dad couldn't listen to one simple request. Please do not change anything. Out there, I asked him. He knew what I was talking about. What did he do? He changed something because he thought he knew best. I had already tested. I had already had that sunblock in the glove compartment with the nozzle just the way it was, so I could just pick it up, squirt some on my tattoo, and put it back. It had already proven that there was not going to be any spillage in the glove compartment. But it doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what I do. It doesn't even matter that it's my stuff. My dad screwed it in, and that's, I could understand if he did that. If it wasn't 5 seconds after I said, please do not change anything out there. So anyway, the progress comes in where, man, I was at the pool doing laps, and I was thinking like, oh, how am I gonna voice this to my dad? And I could, it's a very solid point. Fact. When you were going out to look for your key, I said, please don't change anything. Fact. When I went out there this morning, the nozzle for my sunblock was screwed in, and now it's broken, and there's sunblock all over my truck finish on the dash and in the glove compartment. These are facts. Good night, breakfast. Thanks for becoming a member, breakfast. Let's do it again.
Wow! I feel good.
You know what I mean? Well, anyway, my progress came in where, hey, Holly. I got my levels where I want them. Exactly. I got my sunblock where I want them. I had a streamlined routine. It's very streamlined because I got a whole routine about working out, and the end of it is going down to the pool and doing some laps. I need sunblock on my tattoos. Dad, please don't change anything out there. What does he do? He goes out and changes something. That is ridiculous. Because he thinks he knows better. He thinks he knows that that's going to make a mess of the glove compartment if I don't screw it in. Little does he know I've had it in there for, it's got to be 6-7 months now. I drive every day. I go to the pool every day. I've tested it. That's why I say, please don't change anything. What's he do? He changes something, and what he was trying, what his best ideas were thinking that he was going to prevent is exactly what happened. Sunblock all over the car. Now I don't have it in the glove compartment. Can't even. Anyway, the progress came in where I was doing laps in the pool, and then I was in the shower. I was thinking about it the entire time. How am I gonna say this to him? Because I just need to say this to him. Like, very simply, I said, please don't change anything. What do? You go out and change something. What happens? The shit is broke now. However, I'm trying to grow, if not swiftly, but with baby steps. So I decided, no matter how right I am, and I'm right, I'm not going, because if I do this is the other thing. Even if my dad did something wrong, you can't tell him about it because it's like an emotional eruption. Like all hell will break loose. And, just like it's you, no matter what. So there's no talking to him. And, so even though I have a perfectly good case to bring to a jury or a judge, I asked him, please do not change anything. He went out there and changed something. Point blank, period. Them's the facts. But it doesn't matter how solid my case is. It doesn't matter how solid my case is. He's not going to hear it. And all I'm going to be doing is getting frustrated. And he's going to be getting frustrated. And he's all sensitive, so he'll probably get hurt and shit because he think, he's criticized. And he. So I held my tongue. And he's got ADHD too, and OCD. Psycho chicken yoga. Blah. Let me finish the story. I didn't say something to my dad. I took a middle ground, and I texted my sister, who knows my pain when it comes to my dad. And I said, here's what happened. I have to vent because I realize telling dad is mostly ego driven and it's not going to do any good anyway. And I really don't even know the point of doing it because it's not going to do any good. I just want to just state to him like how ridiculous he is. Like what I said very plainly and very politely, please do not change anything out there. He wasn't out there for 3 to 5 minutes. He changed something because he knows better. And that's not even the point. There's other points too. Like, it's not your stuff. It's not his stuff. This is the same guy that, like, I got my house and my dude, like, wants to be able to walk in and out. What do I got to explain to you that I could be in here beaten off? Be in here naked with a woman? Like, what do I got to explain that to you? Do you know boundaries? No, he doesn't know boundaries. So here I am venting to you guys because I can't vent to my dad because he's a stone wall of ignorance and stubbornness. Anyway, yeah, that's something that the lotion, I'll tell you what that something is. My dad, for 43 years, has been controlling and insisting and imposing his opinions. I'll sit there and I'll watch him make opinions out of nowhere. And I'll be like, wow, if my dad doesn't know something, he's just going to formulate an imaginary conclusion and that's going to be, he knows, you know, and I'll watch him be wrong. Anyway, that's what pisses me off. You know, the lotion smotion. It's the fact that there's no talking to the guy. Anyway, progress was made because instead of, and I don't know if I can hold my tongue, because he's going to tell me something about myself that matches that situation exactly, except it won't be true about me. And I'm going to want to be like, you know what is like that though? When you went out there and touched my sunblock lotion when I specifically asked you not to. All right, let me read some of your comments. OCD. It might cause him to distress, not... Yeah, whatever. Well, get over it. It's my sunburn. It's my sunblock. My dad used to accuse me of misplacing his tools and stuff. His shop was a wreck, but he knew where everything was. An Army vet. He passed in 2015. I kind of miss his rages. Michael, I'm trying to hold on, but the more and more I find out about this situation I've been involved in for a long time, the more I think I'm gonna do I don't know what. Not sure how I can help you, bud, but I would suggest not thinking. And you can't just do that by stopping thinking. You have to act your way into good thinking. You can't think your way into good acting. You have to act your way into good thinking. You can't live your way into good... You can't think your way into good living. You got to live your way into good acting. In other words, you have to be proactive about your situation. If it's a legal situation, you start researching lawyers. If it's a dad touching your sunblock situation, you start researching shotgun shells. Just kidding, that was horrible. But I'm sure we can all relate to the rage that family bestows upon us. Right, Miss Holly Ford. Yeah, that's living in no, it's living in the present. I went out today and the past 43 years. It's been present for 43 years, including today. I'm trying to stop biting my fingernails. I am powerless over them. My nail biting has become unmanageable. Has been for my shit as long as I can remember. I've tried all of my different ways to stop. I've never tried putting tape on my nails on the worst part of the nail biting day, which is like at night when I watch TV or whatever. No, it's funny, JDM. It's the way I vent. Hey, what's up, Noah? Stopped alcohol, but now I'm doing tramadol. Hey, Google, what's tramadol? It's an opioid. Did you touch my sunblock? Did you? Punk. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Michael. Tramadol is an opioid. It didn't say. I noticed you didn't say. Good news. I stopped alcohol and I'm now going to AA meetings. What you did say was I stopped alcohol and now I'm going to do tramadol. Tramadol. Why are you bringing the past up? Why can't it just be about what it is about? Just playing devil's advocate. Yeah, thanks, Holly. I mean, well, that's what I tried to do, is keep it simple. I asked you not to touch my sunblock. You touched my sunblock. It's very simple. It's been this way forever. Why don't you listen? And then he'll accuse me of not listening. Do you know how frustrating that is when you watch somebody doing something and they accuse you of doing it, not knowing they're doing it? Even if you try to tell them, you can see him shut down and like not listen. And then he switches 5 minutes later, he's telling you, something you're doing. It's exactly what he's doing. And you may not even be doing what he's talking about. It's frustrating. Potential body slamming action and frustrating. Psycho Chicken Yoga. Psycho Chicken Yoga. Fidget toys are usually useful. Try suggesting them to my dad. Not interested. And then weeks later, he'll be like, somebody introduced me to these cool fidget toys. Man, these are life-changing. Oh, you mean the ones I literally bought for you 2 weeks ago and suggested? You didn't do that. No. It's the same with the movie Big Lebowski. When I was a video rental clerk at Video World, where still the days of VHSs and DVDs. My favorite movie was The Big Lebowski. I recommended it to my dad. Oh, this is a great movie. This is good. Oh, I'm not interested. A decade later, my dude watches it every time it comes on the TV. I'm like, I suggested this to you like 20 years ago. And you told me you're not interested. It's just not your, and he has a bunch of his opinions about why he's not going to watch it. Neutered Wolverine. Yeah, it's an opioid painkiller. Tramadol is a different kind of high, but it sucks badly. Oh, word? So, what are you doing it for? Synthetic opiate. I was given tramadol for spinal pain. I might start drinking again. Are you asking the question, Michael? Drinking, there is no situation for the alcoholic that drinking will make better. Drinking makes everything worse. Of course, that may not motivate you to stay away from it. Which is the kick in the ass about alcoholism, is the alcoholic's going to do what they do until they're in so much pain that they're ready. They're desperate enough to listen. But I'll go ahead and tell you everything you're going to find out if you continue drinking. In fact, it's what this channel is all about. The truth. Same with the tramadol. JDM Beats. You own a motorcycle? I can't express just how therapeutic my rides are. It's like an endless adrenaline and dopamine dump. I believe it. That was my dad's alcohol. He almost did it until, he did it for 40 years. But I imagine it's awesome. I just don't do it because, well, I don't have the money. And it seems like well, first of all, it's like this. Vehicular accidents are pretty much inevitable. At one point in our lives, we'll all be in some kind of fender bender or whatever. With a motorcycle, it'll be bad. Maybe I'll get one, but I know what you're talking about. In fact, I don't know what you're talking about, but I've heard and can imagine what you're talking about the, and I told my dad I'm going to get a bike. He's like, James, you will kill yourself on a motorcycle. I'm like, Dad, you've ridden motorcycles for 40 years. My dude doesn't have a shoulder anymore because he hurt himself on a motorcycle. He's going to tell me no. Noah says, even though I know that I still pop 5. Yeah, that's the addict condition. Over the line! Noah, so tramadol, I've had 15 in the past 2 days. Shouldn't be too bad coming off of it. Oh, word? You ever seen Train Spotting? What do you know about babies crawling on ceilings and their heads turning around and doing a 180? See you tomorrow, Shades. Good night. I'll be right back. Well, all I hear problems. The problem of, I don't know what I'm going to do. I think I'll start drinking. This has been bothering me for so long. Have you tried the solution suggested on this channel? Which is simply try Alcoholics Anonymous. No, I'm going to try tramadol instead. No, I'm going to try drinking again instead. This is what's happening. I'm just repeating what I'm seeing. You can't stay in the problem if you want to get out of the problem. You have to stay in the solution. Period. End of story. Holly, I'm trying to keep an open mind about my dad, but the frustration is real. The frustration is real. And I know what it sounds like secondhand. You're just like, this guy's bugging out over some sunblock, but it's not that. If there's 365 days in a year, and I have 43 years 43 times 365. Every single one of those days has been my dad touching my sunblock. Yeah, I know it. You're gonna have to go until it's gonna take what it takes. It's gonna take what it takes, and that's just the nature of the disease. It takes what it takes. When you're in enough pain, you will move. When the pain of staying still becomes greater than the pain of the unknown of moving, that's when you'll move. Pain is the greatest motivator. For the addict, it has to be pain of the pain of the pain of sitting still and keep doing what you're doing has to be greater than the pain of moving. So, and that's different for everybody. So when you're desperate enough, you know what the solution is. Or you don't yet, but you know what I've told you. I remember that Beetlejuice. What was that Beetlejuice part where he takes out his eyeballs and he puts them on his fingers? That's what I feel like right now. Don't be sorry to me, man. You didn't do anything to me. Michael says, you know how hard it is to stay sober, right? Now imagine trying to do it with people driving you so crazy that you have lost it. Here, let me try. Oh, wait. That's not my imagination. That's my memory, because I've been there. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. I've been where you are. I've literally snorted a random pill, crushed it up and snorted it before. It turned my nasal sinuses and everything on fire. I had to snort water because I had just snorted some random pill in case it got me high, but it wasn't. It was something that turned my sinuses ablaze in so much pain. It was basically like I snorted pain, and wherever that powder went, it was pain. So I've been where you are, Noah. And Michael, you don't know what you're talking about as far as them and what they've done to you, and family that says they're family. I honestly don't know. But what you're describing, imagine trying to do it with people driving you so crazy that you have lost it. I've been there. Stuck in the situation indefinitely. I've said, and I've felt like my life is like that forever. I might as well kill myself because it's going to be like that forever. Do you know what my sponsor said? You don't know that. You can't tell the future. This too shall pass. Serotonin syndrome before from drugs. Probably. I've had any kind of syndrome you can think of, I've had. I don't go about my drunkalogs and go about my drama stories. I don't stay on them. But, because that's another thing. What will they think? I'll be thinking, I don't go on about stuff like that. They think I'm bragging about how tough I am and shit. But if I were to tell you, or secondhand, if you talk to a family member of mine, they will tell you shit that is unbelievable. My sister snuck me she put a Xanax in my booze one time because I just wouldn't go down. It was bottles upon bottles of booze, and I was into the beer and the liquor, and I just don't go down, she says. I won't go down. I will just continue to keep drinking. She slipped me a Xanax and thought it would put me to sleep. She's like, you just don't go down, bro. And I don't tell you that because it sounds like bragging. But it's the truth. I've had 7. And the reason I say 7 concussions when I probably had 8 or 9 is because I barely believe 7, but they're true. I've been homeless on a park bench. You know what I'm saying? I've been spit on. Too drunk, too out of my mind, wasted to do anything about it. My self-esteem trashed. And I've been spit on. So, like, I know what you're going through. The trust and the leap of faith comes from the trust and a leap of faith. Noah, you're describing something the book describes as the hideous 4 horsemen of alcoholism: terror, bewilderment, frustration, and despair, along with 100 forms of fear. So, that AA app, read the big book. Read the big book. You're either going to listen to your pain and finally read the big book, or you can listen to me. Those are your choices. Continue on not listening until you're experiencing so much pain, frustration, bewilderment, despair that you're like, you know what, maybe I should start listening. Or you can listen now. I'm glad the AA app is helping you, Richard. 12 days sober, 3 weeks is your record. Well, time is not the object. The world record for time sober in Alcoholics Anonymous is 24 hours. I heard that said today for the first time. And just like many sayings, it's going to hit me what it means. But his point was he had 20 years and he relapsed. And a guy told him that was in AA, said, bro, you got too many years and not enough days. We do it one day at a time. And then he said the world record for sober time in Alcoholics Anonymous is 1 day. 1 day at a time. Anyway, my point is, I'm barely paying attention to how much time I have. Time is not the goal. Every day I wake up, I practice these principles. And it's fear and the topics I talk about on here, those are the shit we work on. But time does represent something. It means that 1 day at a time, you're doing the right thing. Michael, I'm going to tell you this, and you're not going to want to hear it. If you meet 3 jackasses before lunch, you may be the jackass. You know what I'm saying? All these people and your family and all these problems in your life that are causing you pain, you're going to find out that it wasn't them. It's you. We are the problem. We are the problem. If you meet 3 jackasses before lunch, if you wake up tomorrow and you run into 3 jackasses before lunch, you may be the jackass, buddy. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but that's what I learned, and that's what we learn when we have a spiritual awakening. When we wake up from these things, all I'm hearing is you blaming your family and you blaming all these people and shit. And you know what I'm saying? You're the one with the problems. Is what I'm going to bet. You know what I mean? Or I'll just ask you this simple question. Or I'll just tell you this. Theoretical situation. If you run into 3 or more jackasses before lunch every day, you may be the jackass, buddy. Do you know how many homeless people are homeless because they are hiding from their family? No. I know I was homeless because my family wouldn't take me in because I was so much of a problem. So, I know I spent 45 days in county jail because I didn't want to be homeless in the winter, and my family and friends were done with me because I was the problem. So no, I don't know your situation, but I will tell you this: if I were to lay down money on the table, I would bet that it is up to you to fix it, not up to them to fix themselves, but up to you to fix yourself. And that may be tough to hear, and as long as I got it into your ear holes, I don't really care what you think about it, because it could save your life, could save your relationships with your family, could save your mind. But that's just the way it is. If you run into 3 jackasses before lunch, you may be the jackass. And Noah, buddy, if you don't stop snorting pills, drinking, and doing all that, you're not going to stop snorting pills and drinking and doing pills and all that. If you want to quit drinking, you have to quit drinking. If you want to quit doing pills and snorting pills, you got to quit doing pills and you got to quit snorting pills. And one good thing to think about is, what are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? And listen to the most repeated phrase in the biggest book of them all, according to some. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it does have clout. The Bible says, do not be afraid 365 times. Fear keeps us. And with faith, there is no fear. I know this from experience. It's been a good stream. Thanks for letting me vent. Sorry if I was stern, like Howard Stern, and abrupt, but you know, sometimes the truth is worth it. Well, I'm out of here until Monday. I'm working tomorrow and the next day. I hope everyone got something of this stream, even though I, went on a rant about my dad and a rant about how you should stop doing what you're doing if you want to get something different. But if you want what you have now, you keep doing what you're doing. If you want something different, you do what they do. You do something different. Today I tried not yelling at my dad. And I wanted to so bad. And I justified and entitled, I'm definitely in the right in a court of anywhere. I asked him not to touch something. He touched it. That's that. I haven't, that's it. Case closed. You're dead. You're guilty. But I didn't, because it was more about my ego. Anyway, my point is, I did something different because I'm sick of living with resentments, and I don't want to hurt my dad, and I don't want to be angry at him. So I did something different. It was hard. Anyway, that's my point. If you want the same thing, you keep doing the same things. If you want something different, you do something different. Do not be afraid. All right, y'all. I will see you Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Addiction, recovery, and everything in between. Thank you for joining Breakfast for Dinner.
Wow, I feel good.
And until next time, keep it clean, keep it real, keep doing the damn thing, as long as it's in line with God's will. Peace. All right, peace, y'all.